Pro wrestler turned actor Dave Bautista has become a Hollywood name thanks to his role as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. But did you know he had another big offer that he turned down? For today, we'll let you in as Marvel star Dave Bautista reveals the reason he turned down James Gunn's DCU movie offer. After the success of both Glass Onion and Cabin in the Woods, David Bautista has been releasing one blockbuster after another. But if you ask me, I think this has been a long time coming. The bad news is that the actor won't portray Drax the Destroyer again for a very long time after his forthcoming Last Guardians of the Galaxy appearance.
Down, you fool, you'll destroy us all.
Or just you, murderess!
I let you live once, princess!
I am not a princess!
Hey! We're stuck together until we get the money.
I have no interest in money.
Great.
And we all know James Gunn and Bautista have always been close, so he was quite supportive of the director when Disney had to fire him due to uncovered tweets. And just lately, Bautista has been faced with a decision that has caused him to reconsider his career options, to build some new contracts or work with Gunn again. This left him in a bit of a bind since here he was, presented with a new opportunity to expand his career, but then again, there's a chance it might flop, or he could work comfortably alongside James Gunn again. It didn't help that both opportunities were presented to him at the same time, so he was forced to choose one over the other. Army of the Dead and the Suicide Squad both had locations for David Bautista to work in and was scheduled to begin filming at the same time. He acknowledged that although the actor had to choose between working with James Gunn and Zack Snyder, both options were excellent. And yep, you guessed it, Dave chose to work with Snyder in Army of the Dead. I had the Suicide Squad where I got to work with my boy again, even though it's a smaller role, and then I had Army of the Dead, on which I get to work with Zack. I get to build a relationship with Netflix. I get a lead role in a great film, and I get paid a lot more money, the actor revealed. He noted that although it would have been nice to work with Gunn again, Snyder offered him a greater opportunity. Plus, having a relationship with Netflix may be quite helpful, especially knowing how successful Glass Onion, A Knives Out Tale was. It worked out well for him because Bautista said that he had been looking forward to working with Snyder and that he did not want to pass up the chance. Naturally, he had to tell James Gunn that he'd rather work with Zack Snyder this time around. So he called the Guardians of the Galaxy director and explained his reasons for declining to participate in the Suicide Squad. He explained everything to Gunn and gave reasons for his decision to go with Army of the Dead. In contrast to Gunn's film, which only had a small part for the actor, Snyder handed him the starring role. I had to call James and I told him, "It breaks my heart because as a friend, I want to be there with you, but professionally, this is the smart decision for me." Thankfully, Gunn was pretty chill about it. James Gunn has even offered unwavering support for his decision. He expressed his admiration for Bautista and his immense pride in seeing him handle such a situation. He had shown great professionalism and was overjoyed to watch the actor play a lead role in the film. But can you imagine Dave Bautista as part of the DCU? I sure can. In fact, several DC roles already come to mind if I'm being honest here, but it's too bad we won't be seeing the actor in the DCU. And it's even more depressing since Gunn was eyeing him to play Bane. He'd smash the role for sure. Expectations were high for Bautista to assume the role of renowned Batman villain Bane given his stature and wrestling background. But recently, he said he was no longer in a position to do justice to Bane in a long-term format. It's no secret that James Gunn's idea of completely rebooting the whole DC universe is ambitious, to say the least, but there's one key reason why he won't be able to play the role. For one, Gunn is set on casting younger and fresher actors for the role. and Bautista, who will turn 55 later this year, continued by stating that he doesn't believe he would have the longevity necessary to prepare ahead for numerous projects, and that he simply doesn't think he can portray Bane at this stage in his career. So Bane's a no-go. But do you know which DC character Bautista is down to play? Superman's longtime nemesis, Lex Luthor. Dave Bautista recently ruled out the possibility of playing a Batman villain, but he now says he'd be game to portray Lex Luthor in James Gunn's DC Universe. The DCU, formerly known as the DC Extended Universe, was given a 10-year plan by Gunn and Peter Safran, the latter of which is the producer of the Conjuring universe. After dropping numerous hints about the franchise's future, Gunn eventually disclosed the slate of films planned for Chapter 1 of the DC Universe, dubbed The Gods and Monsters, but he primarily kept casting details a secret. So how did Dave Bautista get attached to Lex Luthor? Thank Chris Killian of comicbook.com for that. Killian took to Instagram with his suggestion for David Bautista for the part of Lex Luthor in Gunn's DCU amidst the recent changes at the studio. Bautista saw his post and replied, confessing that he hadn't considered the idea of playing the legendary Superman villain, but teasing that he wouldn't stop thinking about it in the future. But wait a minute, how would Bautista fit in the DC's already chaotic universe? I mean, we did have Jesse Eisenberg in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Bautista hasn't completely ruled out working with James Gunn in the DCU, and from the looks of it, Superman Legacy is a crucial project that could make this work. So another Superman project. But what's the story this time around? Superman Legacy, written by Gunn with the hope that he will also serve as a director if he has the time, is considered to be the true beginning of the DCU Chapter 1 timeline. Rather than focusing on Superman's origin story, it examines how he will reconcile his Kryptonian ancestry with his human upbringing in his early years as the titular hero and as a Daily Bugle reporter. While Gunn has said that he wants to steer clear of the standard good guy versus bad guy narrative, his goal to recreate the optimism of Superman from the comics may serve as the ideal opening for Bautista's Luthor to enter, providing a rival more concerned with brains than brawn. The latter may seem less of a selling point for Bautista in the part, but his recent performances in Blade Runner 2049 and Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, have demonstrated his abilities in addition to his physical skills. Yet, given his frequent usage of the mechanical armor known as Warsuit, which gives him superhuman strength and enables him to combat the Man of Steel, it doesn't completely rule out the possibility for Bautista's Lex Luthor to engage in direct combat with Superman and Gunn's DCU. Of course, these are all speculations, but as fans, we could still hope, right? With that, this has been Marvel star Dave Bautista revealing the real reason he turned down James Gunn's DCU movie offer.